Hello, my amazing friends from around the world. I'm Coach Lucy Morris, and welcome to another episode of the FineArcher.com, which is sponsored by New England School of Archery and Supplies, LLC. We have an amazing guest for you today, Bonnie Haaseth from Royal Oak, Michigan, which is about 3 miles northwest of Detroit. Bonnie has been married for 5 years to her wonderful husband and partner in crime, Mark. And Bonnie has 3 sons and 10 grandchildren. Bonnie served in the U.S. Air Force for 21 years and retired in 2005. Bonnie is now a sterile reprocessing technician for Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. Bonnie got back into archery in 2014 after being away from it for many years, and she's currently a level 3 NTS coach, and she shoots for Oar Creek Archery. In 2016, she was the indoor state champion. Well, you still are a champion. It's still 2016. In Michigan, Masters 50 plus, and currently ranked 12th in the nation for indoor. In 2015, she was the indoor and outdoor Masters female recurve state champion in Michigan. And Bonnie has a lot more medals under her belt, which we will talk about later in a little bit. So we have a lot to discuss, and please welcome from Royal Oak, Michigan, Bonnie Haaseth. Hey, Bonnie.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
What's up? Hey, Bonnie, I just gave a brief overview and bio. So, Bonnie, sit back, relax, take a minute or two, and tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into archery.
Well, let's see. I started when I was a little girl. My father, I'll put it like this. My mother took me to a department store in Detroit, and at the checkout there was this small little archery set. It was wooden, with suction cups for the tips for the arrows. And every time I would go there, I would want this set. And my mother would look at me and go, no. Now, the reason she would say no is because we lived in a 2-family flat, and the walls were pristine white. She didn't want anything marring her pristine white walls. So every time I turned around, it was no. Well, fate would have it, this one particular day, my father wanted to go to the department store, so I tagged along with him. And as we're going to the checkout, once again, here are those beautiful bows and arrows that I saw, and being Daddy's little girl, I said, Daddy, can I have this? And he went, okay. So he takes it out, he buys it, brings it home, takes it out of the bag, shows it to my mom, and she almost had a meltdown. She said, I didn't want her to have it because she's going to shoot it in the house. He said, no, she's not going to shoot it in the house. I'm going to make a rule. You can go outside the backyard, play with it out there, and if she comes inside, she can only shoot it in her bedroom only. That's it. That's the deal. If she doesn't do it, I take it away from her. So my mother kind of grumbles, okay, fine, go ahead, fine. So we go out to the backyard. My father just takes it out, out of the container it was in, and he gives it to me, and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. He said, well, I'm going to put it in here on the string, and then you just go back and let it go. Well, after several attempts there, it kept falling to the ground. I didn't shoot it at all. He said, let me show you how to do it. So he took the arrow, knocked it, pulled it back, string. And I said, oh, that was easy. Well, it took me a few more tries, and I finally got the hang of it. And as I was doing my family history, fast forward many, many years later, talking to some of my cousins down in Mississippi, they told me that he had made his own bow and arrow when he was younger. My father was orphaned at 12. So he used to live with his mother's sister, and he had an older cousin, about 2 years older than he was. So they went with the older guys to go out hunting for food. So there was a gentleman that was there. They couldn't remember his name, but he made his own bows, his own arrows, the whole 9 yards. And my father is one of those type of people that he learns by observing. He kind of, you have to understand, once again, him being an orphan, he dropped out of school very, very early. So he didn't learn to read very well, but he could pretty much mimic anything he saw. If you put it in front of him and you built it from the ground up, he could repeat that, no problem. So he remembered what this guy did to put together the bow, made his arrows, the whole 9 yards. And his cousin said he did exactly the exact same thing. And the first thing he killed was a rabbit.
Oh.
And then, after that, it was squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was raccoons. It was any small game. And he said, you have to understand, we didn't do this for sport. We did it as a way of survival. We had to put food on the table in some kind of way. So while the men went out to hunt for deer, we went out to hunt for small game. And that was how he started. So I said it was part of my DNA, learning it from him.
Mm-hmm.
And it just probably got passed down to me. And that's how I got my interest. And once again, I didn't pick it back up again until many, many years later after the original wooden bow that I had broke. I picked it up later on in the military. I was stationed at Ali Al-Salam over in Kuwait. This was during the first Gulf War. And I was part of the Morale, Recreation, and Welfare Division. And I'm watching all these guys and girls, and I'm looking and saying, okay, what do we have to offer them? There's cars, there's chess, there's checkers, there's basketball, baseball, tag football, and that's pretty much it. And there were some guys that said, God, I would love if I could just do some archery around here. It'd be great. And I said, yeah, we'll be witness. So I managed to find another person in crime, and we were kind of thinking around the idea. And he said, well, let's approach the commander about it. And I said, well, okay, well, let's see what the commander says. Well, the commander said he thought it was a great idea. I said, we got to go in front of the company commander to present this. I said, does it have to be formal? He's like, no, we're in Kuwait. Who cares about formality? Let's just go ahead and just talk to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and we approached him, and we gave him our ideas. And he kind of looked at all of us and he said, do you realize how dangerous archery really is? We're looking at each other, and I said, sir, with all due respect, don't disrespect intended. You're saying archery is a dangerous sport. However, I see flamethrowers, grenade launchers, M16. I see all this weaponry we have around us. We've got tanks, we've got air support, and you say archery is dangerous? And he kind of looked back at me, and he looked at the other two, and he's like, point well taken. Okay, I rest my case. I guess you guys can go ahead and have at it. So we ended up finding out from a few people that they knew anybody that had any used archery equipment. That was before Easton was giving out a lot. Before Easton was giving out any information about giving you some equipment. We asked for donations. So some of the guys were calling their families back in the States saying, hey, if you know anybody that wants to donate a gently used bow, it has to pass, inspection and full 9 yards. Please let us know. Send it our way. We'll be helping out a whole lot of people. The first weekend, this is like maybe 3 weeks after we had put out the call, we finally got about 5 bows, some arrows that were donated. A couple of the clubs and some of the other guys in the other states took a look at the bows to make sure they were safe, and then pass it on to us. And that was the first bows we ended up getting, and then we made a little sign-up list. People filled up the list. We had a waiting list. People wanted to go ahead and shoot, and it just kept going and going. I left there, let me see, I think it was about the week after Christmas. I don't remember the exact year of the first Gulf War. It was in the 90s, and I had left. Stayed in contact with a few people, and they said, yeah, the archery thing was still going on. As a matter of fact, it started to spread to the other camps, like Camp Doha and a few other camps. And everybody thought this was a great idea. It took out a lot of, I won't say aggression, but it helped them to relax. Outside of not worrying about being in a competitive sport, it was just you, the bow, and the target. Yeah. And the guy said that was so much fun, and they really enjoyed it. And I lost contact with quite a few people, but I'm currently involved with another group. They run another camp in honor of a soldier that lost his life during the Gulf War, and it's called Camp Cuervo. And they do a lot of things to help veterans who have a disability or are going through PTSD to kind of get them to come back, kind of like what they're doing, like, with the Invictus Games and the Warrior Games, to get them back into sports. And so far, it's been really a big success. But that's how I originally got started in archery. Sorry to make a long story.
No, it's wonderful. It's such a relaxing sport that what a great thing to bring to a a base in a military zone, or an active combat area.
Absolutely.
Whoa, wow. You know, you had it. You know, when you emailed me, you have all these different accomplishments in archery, and I was wondering, instead of me reading them off, if you wanted to just briefly talk about it, or just say, you know, what you've won.
Okay, let me see. The first one I had was at a club championship. Was through Rising Phoenix in Troy, Michigan, and I won for female recurve in 2014. And that one was kind of funny because my coaches were there, and they said, "Oh, just come on down and just hurry up, you know, just go ahead and shoot." And at first I was like, "Okay, you know," really didn't think about it. Like, okay, I'll do it for fun. And got there late, wonderful that I was, and just started to shoot. Really wasn't shooting very well at all. And I didn't even sign up to say, you know, hey, I just want to win anything. I just wanted to shoot. And they said, go ahead and shoot. You probably win something. Go ahead and shoot. I remember my score was a 91. And I did win. I did win the tournament. But I kind of sat back and I thought to myself, it's kind of crazy. But somebody told me, said, look at it this way. You showed up. Where were the others?
Good point.
Yeah, so if you showed up, you did what I think I remember my son was telling me. He said, you got up, you showed up, and you showed out.
Yep.
So don't feel as if though you just won it, you know, just on the fact that, well, hey, I didn't do well. You showed up, and take pride in that, because a lot of other people didn't do what you did. So that was the first one that I have. After that,
you know something, it really is about showing up. I mean, in a bigger context, it's like if you have a goal, a dream, and you can outline it and decide what you want to do. But if you don't get up, put your shoes on, and start, then it won't happen.
Exactly. And I tell that to so many people that I see every day. And when people ask me how old you are, I say, oh, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't be asking that. I said, no, ask me. I said, because you want to know why? There's a lot of my friends that didn't make it to the age that I am now. I said, so when I say that, you know, and they look at me and I said, oh, my husband looked at me one time, he said, I don't want to insult you, but do you want to go and dye your hair? I said, why? What's wrong? He's like, nothing. I was just wondering if you want to dye your hair. I said, no, this is not gray, sweetheart. These are wisdom highlights, and I plan every last one.
Right on, like high five. I just high-fived you in my truck. Yes, I'm sitting in my truck.
So I wear those with pride.
Should we tell them why I'm sitting in my truck?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell them. Go ahead.
Like, this is just wicked cool. I'm sitting in my truck. It's a beautiful day. I actually have the door open because they're actually setting off the fire alarms in my building. You may have just heard it because I actually tried to shut the door and roll the window up. And, of course, my car is being louder than the little birdie beeps.
Yeah, I heard the alarms go off. Like, well, they're testing them. Yep, I think they work.
Yep, I think we'll just be able to hear them.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, God, let me see. What else was I? Oh, yeah, I went to Nebraska for the State Games of America, 2015. I ended up in 4th place, and there's a funny story behind that one. I'll tell you about that one in a minute. Just kind of remind me about it.
We'll come back to that one. Oh, let me write it down.
Sure.
Okay.
The other one, I was at the State Games of Michigan, and I had a gold medal in that one.
I've lost my pen. How can I lose my pen? I'm sitting in my truck. There's like... Okay. Oh, there it is. It's under my hat.
Gotta love it.
I know.
Oh, God, that's funny. Okay, let me see. Where else was I at? I went to Michigan State University in Ann Arbor for the Indoor Nationals 2016. I ranked 7th that year. Went to the Michigan Senior Olympics in 2015 in Rochester, Michigan. I won silver medal in that one. Entered the Society for Archery in Michigan for the state outdoor championship. 2015 won a gold medal in that one, and did the same thing for the indoor state championships, won a gold. This year, the U.S. Nationals, I ranked 12th, and there was a reason behind that, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And the indoor state championships, I came in first place. I won gold at that one. For the one that I ranked 12th in for the Nationals, that was a funny story as to how I went from 7th to 12th.
I'm going to come back to that one.
Sure, okay. Yeah, because that was a very interesting story. Mm-hmm.
Nationals, and what was the other one?
I ranked 7th in the one last year. I ranked 12th this year, and let me see what was the other one we talked about. This year, I think that's pretty much it. Those two kind of correlate. You'll understand since I show it to you. You'll understand.
Okay. So let's see. Bonnie and I are going to sit back and chat about archery for a couple of minutes. I have a feeling it'll be longer than a couple of minutes.
No problem.
We were chatting for quite a while before we even started recording, and then when we started recording, we just kept talking, and then said, "Well, oh my gosh, we should start the interview." So this is just lots of fun. If you're listening while you're driving your car, hang on to the wheel, because I'm going to take all the notes for you, and I'll have the links and resources on my talk. FlyingArcher.com. I better hold on. I'm not driving anywhere. I'm sitting in my truck, but I'm not driving anywhere.
He says that now.
I'm parked under a couple of beautiful trees. I have the garden right over there that's not planted yet, but just about ready. Well, let's start, talk about what kind of bow you like recurve, compound, longbow, pseudo.
My personal favorite is the recurve. When I got back into this, my husband bought me a compound that I think was the Barrett Vortex, which was actually a youth bow, but it grows with you. And you have to understand, I'm only 4'11", and my draw length is very short. It's like 24 and a half inches. So this bow actually will grow with you. So it starts out at 19 pounds and go all the way up to 49 pounds. So that was the first bow he bought for me. But I really liked the recurve. So when I was going to, I think I went to the introduction to archery, which was like a Discover Archery that USA Archery had. And it was at Detroit Archers. And went there. It was on a Saturday. It was a one-day thing for Saturday. And it was totally crowded. I mean, we're talking about crowded. And it had to have like 2 lines. On one line for that one particular time schedule, and then another line for the next time schedule. And then I signed up for introduction to archery classes, and they had the Samick Polaris, the starter bows for that. Started shooting that and said, I like the compound, but I really like this recurve a lot. So graduated from that. I ended up getting Sebastian Flute, Miser. It was an okay bow, but the rising was just too big for my hand. So I gave that one to my husband. So I ended up getting the Sebastian Flute Forge Plus, aluminum Forge Plus. And it's a beautiful blue. As a matter of fact, it was actually going to another young lady that was going to purchase the bow from a gentleman by the name of Craig Gibbs, who has a company called Aerosport Archery. He's one of the best recurve guys in Michigan. And he's based out of Flint. And I came to him, and his basement is set up like a shop. It's in his home, but his basement is set up like a shop, like a candy store.
Oh.
So I'm walking in, and I'm like, oh, God, and like, credit cards, we're in trouble. So I'm walking around, we're in trouble.
I should have left your wallet at home.
I should have, but it's like, no, we're going to stay. So I looked at this one particular bowl, like I said, with the Sebastian Flute. I'm like, kind of liking that one, Craig. He's like, yeah. He said, actually, that was for another young lady who was going to purchase it. She changed her mind. This particular color was only in Europe, and so they had to specially make it and bring it over here. Well, she changed her mind. Now she doesn't want it. I said, you know what? That's jumping out and it's calling for me. He's like, well, if it's calling for you, then you can have it. For a nice price tag, my husband always had a heart attack, but you got the bow anyway. So I got that, and I gave it 2 nicknames. One was the Blue Destiny. The second one was the Kid. And the reason I called it the Kid was because when I have an attitude, it has an attitude. It's kind of like, it's kind of like the bow is an extension of you. So if I'm having a rotten day, it's going to have a rotten day. And it's like, you sit back and you guys, not the kid, not today. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It's not the kid, not today. So if you're going to shoot crappy, I'm going to help you shoot even crappier. So it has an attitude, but on a good day, I call it the destiny. So if anybody knows anything about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, if you've seen the movie and you know about the Green Destiny, just transfer that over to my bow, the Blue Destiny. It's really a good bow. I ended up switching limbs out of it. I have the Elite limbs on it now, and it's really an awesome shooting bow. I absolutely love it. I ended up getting the Excel Achieve RXL sight. I won it at a raffle, believe it or not, when I went to Vegas shoot a couple of years ago. And they were giving them away, and my name got pulled, and they had all these objects on the table, like, which one do you want? I want that one. They say, good choice. I didn't realize at the time how much that cost. Till I looked up, and I almost had a heart attack, and I'm like, you're kidding. Look at this thing. And I was like, what? It was $350? Okay.
So why do you like recurve better than compound?
It's just a feel. The fact that it's a challenge for me because I'm pulling back on it and there's no stop like you do when you have it with a compound.
Yeah.
I have to hold this. So it's like, naturally, the longer you hold it, the more your muscles are going to get fatigued. It's like, oh, God, we're starting to shake. But when I pull back on it and I let the arrow fly, it's kind of like it's part of my soul flying down the line. The recurve is like an embodiment of me. It's like the limbs are my arms, The riser is my core. The aperture is my eyesight. So, and like the string is like plucking the soul. So that's how I visualize all of that. That's why the recurve is my first favorite. I just love the feel of it. I love the challenge that it gives me. Not saying anything bad about compound, because I know there's a lot of people that love a compound. One of my coaches, she's great at compounds, so I just love a recurve. I mean, I still have my compound. It's still upstairs. I got to bring it out and dust it off every now and then to say, hi, how you doing? Remember me, I'm Bonnie. I see you. but, no, the recurve is just me. It just speaks to my soul.
Where have you traveled for competition, as an archer and as a coach?
I've traveled, like I said, to Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska for the State Games of America. I mostly stayed local, mostly in Michigan. I haven't really gone outside. I did go to the Outdoor Nationals a couple of years ago, mostly as a volunteer, just to get a feel for what it was like. This was before I started doing outdoor shooting, just to get a feel for what it was like. That one was really very, very interesting. It opened up my eyes. And like I said, I went to Vegas shoot just to see as an observer, to see what everybody was going through, to put it all in perspective. And to kind of see, is this what I really want to do? Is to do this for competition, or do I want to do this strictly for fun? And
it should be both.
Exactly, and it should be both. But the funny thing is, you do meet a lot of people who take it so seriously. It's like, I can't have fun with this. There is no fun in this. I have to do this. I'm in competition. It's like, relax. And now archery is supposed to be a relaxation kind of thing. To me, it's meditative. And I enjoy it, but there's no need to kind of like have your back all up like, I got to win. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, hey,
you know what I've noticed when talking with different guests on the podcast is a lot of folks, and these people have gotten, pretty good at shooting, like really good, tend to have gone through a period where they were like that, like, gotta compete, gotta win, maybe throw the bow down if they didn't do well.
Right.
But something happens along the way where they stop and they something may happen, or they step away for a couple months and come back, and they're like, I'm going to make this fun. And all of a sudden, when they do that, they were good before, but the level of good got better after they made it enjoyable.
Exactly. And that kind of piggybacks what I was going to say about what happened at State Games in America. How I ended up in fourth place is kind of funny. My bow was kind of not shooting the way I wanted it to go. It was going more, my arrows were going more towards the right. I couldn't understand why I was going in that direction. And so I went back to my recurve guy and I said, is there any way we can figure out what in the world is going on? He's like, sure, let me take a look at it. And he took a look at it and said, oh, God, it's really not tuned very well. He said, okay, I'm going to give you an option. I can tune it right now. I know you're flying out the next day. You know, if I tune it right now, all your type marks are going to be gone. They're going to be shot. I said, yeah, I know. But you know what? Go ahead and do it anyway. I'll just deal with it when I get there. He's like, okay. It took him an hour because for some reason everything was not lining up right, and it was giving him a heart attack. He's like, oh, my God, what is going on wrong with this thing? And he finally got it. He said, it's not perfect, but it's better than what it was. He said, once again, remember, your sight marks are going to be off. I'm like, okay, no problem. I go to the shoot, and this is when I started meeting everybody from Michigan all of a sudden. You know, we were all close by, but we didn't know how close by we really were. And we just started shooting. And the second day, I didn't shoot as well as I did. Well, no, I take that back. I did shoot better the second day than I did. I think the first score was 373. The second day I scored a 439. And near the end, everybody, I think it was over 200 archers, you know, and during this, you know, we had the largest sport event that was going on at the State Games. And well, I should say the most people that were participating in it. And near the end, everybody's getting kind of like tired. You can see some of the anger coming out, you know. It's like some of these folks are not doing very well and they're just mad. And so me and another lady, we just kind of looked at each other because we're both having a blast. I mean, we immediately clicked and we just had a blast. And everybody's looking at us like, oh, she was so funny, you know. I don't know why you guys are having so much fun. And we're like, okay, I think it's time for us to break out to a song. So we started singing James Brown, I Feel Good. We started singing that. Next thing I know, everybody on our line starts going into the same song. And you know this line that goes, I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. And next thing you know, everybody got their bows and they're just dancing in the air. We're like, oh, we started something.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, my goodness.
It was funny, and it was funny because two of the guys came back later and said, that was last two rounds after we sang that song, I actually shot better.
Wow.
Figures. During the last two rounds, I actually shot better. And I said, well, you know, you were angry, and I saw you getting frustrated. And all you took was a little bit of a song to kind of break you out of that funk, kind of like you reset your mind, and now you were able to relax, and you were able to shoot better. He's like, I never thought about it like that. He said, you're absolutely right. He said, I have to stop being so angry. He said, I take this so seriously, and you're right, I should start making this more fun. It's nice if I win, but if I don't win, oh well. He said, so thank you for that. And I said, okay, cool. So when it came to the end, I had to leave because my plane was leaving out that afternoon, so I couldn't escape the award ceremony. And I asked Liz, who was from Grand Rapids, who was still from Grand Rapids, if she would do me a favor and let me know if I won. If I didn't win, no big deal, just let me know. I think Liz came in first, I believe. And she said, you came in fourth. And I said, okay, no problem. I remember I was mad with myself. I said, I should never just change the phone. I should have left it alone. And I told my coaches what happened. They were like, duh, we told you not to change anything before you left. I said, yeah. I said, but you know what? I look at it as a learning experience because I've done this something that was dumb, but because I've done it, I can tell anybody else, don't do what I did. Because now I've got the experience, I can tell you exactly what not to do. That you don't do before a competition. So, instead of being angry, I looked at that as a great learning experience. And it's like, it is what it is. And my coach said, you did really good to come in fourth place after all those changes you did on the bowl. To end up in fourth, you actually did pretty good. I said,
yeah.
I'm not mad anymore. I'm fine. I'm good with it now. Now that I said back in perspective and look back, yeah, it was a good experience.
What's the craziest weather that you have ever shot in?
Well, at first I was going to say nothing. Everything was fine, but then I'm going to change that answer. This past Sunday, we were doing an adaptive archery clinic, and in Michigan, our average temperature for this time of year, and this is May 2016, this time of year is averaging about 70 degrees. Well, this past Sunday, it got up to, the highest was about 42 degrees. So at 42 degrees, we had rain, we had sleet, we had sunshine, we had clouds, we had wind. You talk about throwing everything at one time.
That sounds like New England weather, you know? What's supposed to happen up here?
And it's like, are you kidding? What's that? And I mean, the sun would come out, now we're all getting hot, so we're peeling off layers. Next thing you know, the sun is going back, the clouds are coming back, the wind is coming out, we're putting back on the layers. But that was probably the craziest weather. And I would say I didn't shoot, I actually coached. And the adaptive folks that were in the wheelchairs did a fabulous job. Mm-hmm. And they didn't take into consideration the wind. They didn't think about that. They just shot. And the majority of the people, a lot of those arrows went into the red or they went straight into the gold. And they were like, I wasn't even thinking about it. You know, I said, that's it. You didn't think. When you think, that's what happens. You start screwing yourself up. So don't think about it. The arrow fly. And they all had a blast. They said, this was so much fun. And I said, yeah, and I would say you shot in the craziest weather that you've been in Michigan. They're like, you're right, I'm going to get a test.
Mother Nature was having hot flashes.
I think she did. Either that or somebody really ticked her off because she was not cooperating at all.
She was acting like a child.
She sure was. She's like, oh, you pissed me off? Oh, well, let me show you what I can do. Okay. It's fine.
You read books, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, what great archery books have you read?
Oh, let's see. Inside the Archer, by Lee. That's definitely on my number one book. Freedom Flight was really by Larry Bassam. That was one of the best books I've read. I heard about it. My coach said, definitely got to read it. That should be part of your library. And I read it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And it still resonates with me to this day. Any books by Larry Weiss, Steve Ruiz, that's a great book. Al Henderson, Understanding and Winning Archery and Performance Archery, really a good book. For history-wise, Archery Through the Ages, that was really a good book. I didn't realize how far archery went back into medieval days, but I mean, it was just, if you don't want to see about a book about archery and history, that's a great book to get.
Oh, it goes way back. I mean, it is like way in our DNA.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was really blown away when I was reading it. So, like I said, if you can find the book, and I think it's on Amazon, you got to grab it. It's really, really good. Terry Wonderly, Archery, Think and Shoot Like a Champion. That's an excellent book. Ruth Rose, Simple Maintenance for Archery. Even. I mean, if you want to know the ins and outs of, getting to know your bow and whether it be a compound, recurve, how to repair it, how to do simple maintenance on it, it's a great book to get.
Have you ever looked at her background, Ruth Rowe?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Blew me away.
She was a podcast guest for me last fall or a little while ago, and she emailed me her archery resume. Okay, I'm really glad, I know her already.
Right. No.
I get to page 3 of, all the competitions she did when she was competing. I'm like, world champion, Olympian, world record breaker, world, there's one spot for, the Olympics.
Yeah. Right.
But that's just one of, all these places she has been. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. And so when she retired from competing, she, now actively coaches and is, what she's doing now is phenomenal. Highly recommend listening to her podcast. She really gets into it. Once I get past asking her questions about competing, she's just could care less now, because that's, part of, the past and stuff that she's doing now. But I'm like, man, celebrate what you've been doing with your past. Oh my goodness, you're an inspiration.
and that's one thing, I tell some of my coworkers at work when, they're hitting some their milestones. I'm like, celebrate it. And the kids they look like, why? I said, because you've done what a lot of other people can't do. I said, that's always been my mantra.
Celebrate it and let the world know.
Exactly.
Because people look up to that and start going out of their comfort zone to do things.
Exactly. And I think that was a story that my sons I was telling my sons, when I won the Myers State Games, that was the other one. I had won a gold medal in that one, and I took a picture of it. I put it up on Facebook, and my youngest son,
I've lost my pen again.
30s. Oh, sorry. My youngest son, he's in his 30s, and he wrote a blurb on it, and I got to find it because it was really great. And he pretty much said to the whole world, my mom is one of the best women in the world. She got out there. She did her thing. Can't nobody take that away from her, et cetera, et cetera. And basically shouted to the world, I'm proud of what she's doing, because how many other guys that say, hey, my mom does archery. What does your mom do? And I said, I didn't think about that. And he's like, and then he told me later, he said, no, celebrate it, because his father passed away 2 years ago. And he sits back and he thinks about all the things his father could have done. And I remember telling him, I said, yeah, your father used to play, amateur softball. And he had softball teams. And I said, that was his passion, softball and football. And after a while, he just let it go, which is something I can never understand to this day. I said, that's why I tell my children, to follow your passion, and you never know. It could actually turn into a moneymaker. It may not, but if it doesn't, and if it gives you pleasure, go ahead and do it. And I said, and then when you do it, celebrate it. And then think about how many of your friends aren't doing what you're doing right now. And just keep thinking about that, because some of your friends are not here anymore. Some of your friends don't have their parents anymore. I said, so for me to say, because now my coworkers at work, whenever I tell them I'm going for a competition, now they're asking me, how did you do? How did you do? Did you do good? So I said, now I got them into it. Even when I had my string bow, I used to bring it out and during my breaks, and they would look at me like, what are you doing? And I said, this is my string bow. Oh, okay. Now they see me with the string bow, like, got a competition coming up? Yep. Okay, no problem. And they walk away from me. It's like, okay, we're used to it. So now it's just nice to know that when I come back, and they always want to know, how did you shoot? How well did you shoot? So you didn't do okay. All right. And then one of the guys asked me not too long ago, he said, so did you lose? I said, ha, 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 ha. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I never lose. And he said, I never thought about it like that. I said, no, the word lose to me is a negative word. I said, energy is neither positive nor negative. It's what you do with that energy that makes it into a positive or a negative. And I look at that by saying losing is like, I'm useless. I didn't do well. I'm a loser.
I think you lose if you don't show up. No, maybe that's
still
negative.
And that's the other thing. So as when he said, you know what, you mind if I use that? I said, what you just said? I never lose. I either win or I learn. I said, exactly. I said, that applies to everything in life. You go for a job interview and you didn't get the job. Did I lose out on the job? No, I didn't lose. I learned what I can do better the next time around. I said, next time around, I may be better. I'll be gangbusters on the next one. I said, same thing for any competition. I said, same thing for life, period. That's my mantra. I never lose. I just win or I learn.
Do you have any strategies if your equipment breaks in a competition?
Well, I try.
That was a great laugh. My equipment never breaks. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you mean? Equipment breaks? Never. I usually have
3 set backup bows. Arrow rest falls off. You grab your second bow.
Exactly. Yep. I usually have 2 of everything. Now I actually do have a second bow. Like I said, I had the first one was a little bit too big for my hands, but I have a second one now that I use for practice only. But in case I have to, I can pull it out and use it if need be. But I do have doubles of everything. Arrows, I got so many arrows laying around now, it's ridiculous. And it's so funny because my husband's going like, how much is this going to cost? I'm working. It's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about how much it's going to cost. I have to have a double just to keep this snap. I got a backup. If this goes gaga, I got a backup. So I have double of everything. And in some cases, triplicate and quad everything. So I'm good.
What does the food you eat on the day of a competition impact your thinking and shooting abilities? Or it could be just while you're shooting. It doesn't have to be a competition.
Well, I know if I don't eat as well as I should, I know I'll get tired really fast. My mind will start to wander. I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing because if I eat something like a fast food, I rarely eat fast food anymore. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat pork. Mostly it's poultry and fish, vegetables. But if I eat kind of poorly, it definitely does affect me badly. And my coach kind of see me near the end when they don't notice that my shots are not as strong as they first were. The Oreo cookies comes out. Now I know some people don't think Oreo cookies. Like, well, see, that's my go-to. That's my superpower is the Oreo cookies. So I'll have my husband go out and he'll buy the little small tubs of Oreos, the mini Oreos, which is really easy to transport. So he'll go out and he'll buy me like maybe a couple of those, and I'll put them in my bag. And when I get to the shoot, my coach is asking me, so where's the Oreos? Like, they're right here, give them to me. So she'll pop them open, and she'll keep an eye on me, and it's her and her husband, Lori and Barry Taggett. And they will take a look at me and see how I'm doing. And if they can automatically tell when I'm getting tired because the shots are just either going low or they're going left and right. They'll see a tremble. Either I'll pluck the string, something's going on wrong. And as soon as I'll come back, she's got the Oreos waiting for me, and she just hands them to me like, here, go ahead, grab a couple. You're going to need it. I'll go out, grab a couple more. So she's like, this is a quick burst of energy. Here's some more. So between that, the frozen fruit, like, frozen grapes. I have protein bars that I keep with me, water, absolutely. But like I said, if I don't shoot well, it shows really quick. Like I said, I'll tire easily. I won't be as focused as normally I should be.
What else do you bring? Go on. This is good. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, continue. I want to hear what you're saying.
I was just saying, usually I will just bring the water, the Oreos, sometimes a protein shake, Boost, the little protein little drink that you can buy at the drugstore. I usually will bring some of that with high protein in it, and do the best that I can. I find out that for me, if I have anything that is carb related, for me, I know carbs are good because it gives you that energy and it's sustainable energy, but for me, it actually wears me out. So I know my body is kind of strange, so it's like I can't load up on carbs before a shoot. I will be lethargic, and, I'm kind of like giddy, and it's like, this is not good for me. It may be good for everybody else, but it's not good for me. So,
I think it may be for me, it's the certain kind of carbs. Like, if I have, like, pasta, and I try to do anything afterwards, I just want to crawl up and take a nap. But if I have gluten-free pasta, I don't need to take a nap. I don't feel tired. Yeah. If I order pizza, I can't stop eating pizza. I eat the whole box. Not the cardboard part, but
Right, yeah.
It tastes like
although it's good in fiber. Although the cardboard is fiber, but that's okay.
And then I want to go into like a, I don't know, sleep coma for like, just a little while. But it's like, yeah. But if it's actually a gluten-free pizza, then it has to be healthy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like I said, I just can't. I'm kind of like you. I can't eat any kind of pasta. Sometimes I'll eat spelt pasta, which is an ancient grain, which is really gives me more energy than the regular semolina type of pasta. But like I said, it has to be the protein, like protein drink, protein shake, water, protein bars, Oreo cookies.
What about like beef jerky?
No, like I said, I don't eat red meat.
So right. Are different types of. Well, they have like turkey and chicken.
And my husband wanted me to try it, and I don't know, I can't wrap my head around it. Eventually, I will. Sooner or later, I'll do the jerky thing. It's just a matter of time. I've been fighting it long enough, so eventually I'll probably will take the plunge. But we'll see. Can't make any promises, but we'll see.
What I've tried is, I know up here, there's a company in Vermont that sells, well, I'm in New Hampshire, USA, and Vermont is a state next to us, and there's a company there that sells, like, organic jerky, and they have a variety of types. So there's, like, chicken and turkey and barbecue, and I think there's, like, 6 different ones, pepperoni, and, yeah. And so I know that, it's not completely healthy, but it's more so than the stuff that you could just grab at the gas station when you stop to fill up your car,
Yeah, we're not talking about snapping through a Slim Jim either, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just want to let everybody know that I just took half a page of notes with the pen I can't find.
All right then.
So listeners, I promise you I'll have all these websites, the links and different things on our blog, and you can follow Bonnie at Facebook, Bonnie, Bonnie, and then Haaseth, can't read my own writing. And right now it's a picture of an eagle in flight. That's her person icon.
Yes. And, before we end, I forgot to tell you, I was going to tell you the story how come I went from 7th to 12th. And there's a nice little story with that in the Nationals. And this is for the indoor Nationals.
I'm not closing this. We're still talking.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, we got lots of stuff. I'm just...
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But, tell us our story. I can't stop you now. Go on. Do it. Tell us.
Do it, woman. Do it now.
No. Actually, let me ask you a question first.
Sure.
We'll leave everyone in suspense.
Yes.
What do you do to help yourself stay in the moment when there's a lot of distractions on the range, when you're competing or when you're just shooting?
Well, one of the things I have to give my coaches credit for is when we're doing practice, they always have music playing. And it's a cornucopia of mostly rock and roll, classic rock and roll more so than anything. And we do a lot of talking on the line. This is compared to some people that have to have total silence. People that will put earplugs in to make sure they don't hear the noise. And that's fine for them. That's great. But for me, I like distraction. It doesn't bother.
I could shoot with earplugs in my head. In my ears.
It's
sort of like
either.
Part of the whole thing is just being focused. They need somebody to be popping balloons next to them. That's what they need.
we have like, like I said, we have the music going, and me, I'm kind of like the nut on the line. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'll either crack a joke or I'll give a great compliment to somebody, and then we'll step off the line, and I'll just make laughs and jokes left and right. And that's just who I am. That's why I said when I go on the line, I can focus real easy. This person over here can talk. That person behind me can talk. This person next to me can be cussing out his arrows. I don't care. I don't care. All I'm seeing is I see gold in my future. That's all I see. Because, like I said, the competition for me is between me, the bow, and the target.
You see your pot of gold.
I see that pot of gold at the end of my bow. So I
like your rainbow.
On that. Yeah, I love my rainbow. It's a beautiful thing. So I just concentrate on that. And like I said, they can have distractions all around. It's the silence that kind of gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like it when it's quiet. That drives me up a wall more so than anything. And if
that's when you have to put the earplugs in.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I hear crickets. What the heck? I can't. No. If I could, I would have music going in my headset and I would be shooting at the same time. I know I can't, but if I could, I would. And usually what I'll do is I'll have music playing in my head. When I went to the first outdoor competition, somehow Elvis Presley was constantly in my head. And the song that kept playing was Kentucky Rain. Why, I don't know. But it just played on and played on. And my coach was saying, "Are you playing the music in your head?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Who's in the building?" I said, "Elvis is in the building." And he's playing Kentucky Rain. And they said, "Well, whatever he's playing, keep on letting him play because you're shooting great." I said, "Okay." So that's how I ended up in 7th place, was playing Kentucky Rain. But like I said, I usually play some kind of song in my head. There's something going on. Either if I need something that's going to pick up my energy, I'll play something in my head that's fast-paced. If it's something that's just going to kind of mellow me out a little bit, something like Kentucky Rain or some other little soft rock song plays very, very well. And that's basically what I do to stay focused, just play music in my head and concentrate on the goals.
What were your earlier challenges, or your early challenges?
Trying to find a good coach. That was here's the thing, living in Metro Detroit, especially in Detroit, in the inner city, there really wasn't any place to go to shoot. The closest places were, and this was a while ago, the closest places that were around were over 30 minutes away, and they were not on a major bus line, which is why you had a lot of kids in the inner city. They wanted to do archery, but if you didn't have transportation, you were pretty much out of luck. Yep. The public schools at that time, did not participate in the MAS program. They do now, but back then they didn't. To find a good coach was hard to do. Now it's better. The word has gotten out, and I have to take a shout out to the guys at Motor City Archers. A couple of gentlemen out of Livonia, Michigan, saw a need for kids that wanted to go out and shoot. And they were able to get a beat-up van. They fixed it up. They would pick up the kids, either at the school or at the home, and they'll take them out and let them shoot. Give them the experience, take them back home. And the parents really appreciate it because they said, I'm working, or either we have one car or we have no car, and there's no place for my kids to shoot. So when you look back on it, and even up, like I said, for me, 2 years ago, trying to find a good coach was hard. Trying to find an archery range is difficult. Didn't know until, like I said, a couple of years ago, there was an archery range right up the street from me, MJC Archery in Royal Oak, and Jim Morrow is the owner, and I've gotten to know Jim very, very well. And he'll let me, he just said, just come here and shoot. I only have 8 lanes available, but hey, it's open. Range is open. Do your thing. And before I went to work days, I was working afternoons, I would go up there and almost as soon as he was open. And I would shoot for a couple of hours, come home, change clothes, and go to work. And my day was set. Now that I'm working days, it's the reverse. Now I go there after I get off from work, shoot, come home. My day is set. But that was the first challenge, finding a good coach. and then finding a place to shoot that wasn't too far away.
I think a good coach is very important.
Extremely important. Extremely important. I'm very fortunate to have Lori and Barry Taggart in my corner. I met them when they were originally at Rising Phoenix, and now they're at they own their own archery club, Orchid Archery, and they really helped shape me tremendously. Outside of what I've read and tried to apply it, they said, okay, that may be good for everybody else, it may not be good for you, but let's tweak it. Let's find what's going to work for you. And I think that's really the key too. Is you don't have a coach say, that's not going to work. But I read it. That's not going to work for you. They'll say, let's try it, and now let's tweak it to suit you. It doesn't have to suit this person over here, but it's going to suit you better. And I don't care if you don't lean forward and you don't put 60% of the weight on the, your balls of your foot. If you want to shoot flat and those arrows are still hitting gold, go right ahead. I don't care. As long as you're hitting the target, as long as you got good boost, if it's working for you, let's do it. So, once again, finding a good coach, and I've been fortunate to have these two in my corner. I can't say much. Can't say more about them. I can go on and on and on. But yeah, finding a good coach and finding a place to shoot.
And it's important to have a good coach because you can. People in archery like to give advice, and if you just get the advice from very well-meaning people that tell you things like, yeah, here, buy this 50-pound bow at our store here. It's then you can go hunting, and they're meaning well. But I think in this industry, I think it'd be a good idea to step back and see it as, weight training. If you go to the gym, you're not going to pick up a 30-pound something if you can only pick up 10 pounds, whatever the thing is. So it's about, okay, well, if I want to do, I definitely want to have 30 or 50 or 40 at some point. And I'm not quite there yet. Well, some people are. I mean, there's some people who, with the work they do and they take care of their bodies in such a way, even if they don't have that work, that they have the strength.
Right.
But it's to create a training plan in which through physical fitness you build up your strength, and then you can increase the weights on your bow.
Right. Exactly.
And that's something that I work with my private clients and my group lessons on is plan over time. Some people go, Coach Lucy, I want to purchase an 80-pound recurve bow, and I've taken 1 hour of class from you. And I'm like, cool. You want to shoot a water buffalo?
Like, okay.
Well, let's build up to
you have right now.
If you want an 80-pound bow, we'll do it. Let's build you up to it.
Right.
And it's also about form. You want to start with what I've been trained in, also, going over out to Olympic Training Center, working with Olympic coach, taking a couple classes out there and such. And we were using 10-pound bows for form weight, for form work. And if you use a heavy bow, you're trying to pull the thing back, and you're like a foot away from your face, and then you let go, and you keep doing that. Well, then you've taught yourself muscle memory of not proper anchor and proper all the other things that go along with the form. Oh, and then, if you hurt your shoulder, dang. Then how many years are you out? Well, maybe not even years, but...
Yeah, it's like game over, pretty much. If you screwed up the shoulder, it's like, well, it depends upon your physical features. If you've been working out, you probably can make a quick recovery. But if you haven't, there's a good chance that you're probably not going to come back strong. You probably will always have that problem in the shoulder. And, I kind of seen that. My husband, he has a torn rotator cuff, and the only way it actually feels better is when somebody is like pounding on it. He hasn't had surgery done on it, but it's kind of like if you pound on it, it's fine.
Oh.
But he said it'll never be the same. It's like pretty much wrecked. But I remember another young lady was saying the same thing, that she wanted to start out with higher poundage goal because that's what the Olympic archers are doing. It's like, but they had to build themselves up to that. Well, I can do it. Yeah, you can try, but you'll probably injure yourself and you'll probably never pick up a bow again. So build yourself up to it. And you'll get there, but don't run out and buy a bow that's going to start off at 40 pounds. That's kind of nuts. It's not going to work.
What is the craziest thing that's happened when you were shooting?
I had a dragonfly landed on my arrow right when I was at full draw. I was getting ready to let it go, and he just came out there and said, "Hi!" And you know how their heads always turn kind of weird looking at you, like, you would. Seriously. Okay, 5 seconds is passing. Can you please get off the arrow before I'm starting to tremble? And I think he finally figured out, and he's like, okay, I'm going to leave you now. And so he flies away, and I shoot off, and I don't remember what score I hit, but I was pulling back and just did beautifully. And here he comes. Zip! And that head just started turning, looking at me, looking all around like, dude, really? This is not the time. Just sit there and have a mental conversation with me. You need to go. Oh, my God. That was one of the strange things. That was just weird. That's the one that stands out in my mind more so than anything. Is that.
Oh, that's just wonderful. They do have these big bug eyes. Well, they are bugs. And they look...
Yeah.
They got this... Yeah.
They do. They have this... I can't even describe it. When I see the head is turning, I'm like, oh, that's creepy. I've seen a lot of bugs in my life, but I've never seen a head look quite like that. Ooh, that's, okay. Remind me not to be an enemy of yours in a bad drink. Thank you. Bye. Oh, God.
I want to go back to when you're shooting, and what are you thinking about while you're on the range shooting?
Oh, what I think about is, all I think about is I just want to hit the gold. I want gold. I just want to hit the gold each and every time.
Do you keep thinking that when you hit the white, or do you focus on the white after that? Or do you go back to going gold, picturing gold?
I go back to picturing gold. Mostly some people close their eyes and do the mental picture. I just stare at it. If it's in front of you, you might as well look at it. Yeah, it's like you're waving at me like saying, hi, how are you? I'm gold. These are my friends, red, blue, black, and white. We're going to be spending some time with you for the next 2 to 3 hours, so we're going to get to know each other really well. So I said, yes, okay. I'm going to be staring at you. You're going to stare at me back. We're going to have a good time.
I wonder if it had feelings, what it would be thinking. That's the paper target.
Yeah, it's like, why are these people trying to kill me? What have I done to any of you?
Or maybe it's like, oh, she's making, I'm now holy.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
That was a joke. Did you hear that? No,
yeah, I heard that one. Yeah, I'm not holy. I like that one. I was going to say sanctify, holy, and free from all sin. I was going to say that, but I stopped. But, yeah, that's basically what I do. I just concentrate on the gold, and usually, if I'm lucky, I'll hit it. I usually hit their cousin, which is Mr. Red, but that's fine, and it was something that I was telling somebody else when we were shooting is, your eyes focus on wherever it's going to go. If you just even do a quick glance, guess what's going to happen? And somebody didn't believe me. I said, well, okay, do this. I said, look at the gold, concentrate on the gold, go ahead and let the arrow fly. And they kept hitting gold all the time. I said, now, you're looking at the gold, you're in full draw, just glance down for one quick second. You glance down one quick second, let the arrow fly, and ended up in the black. She's like, oh, that's wrong.
Wow.
That's just so wrong. I said, yeah, your eyes can connect. I said, remember, this is the eyes are the windows to the soul. But basically, your eyes control your body. I said, being in surgery, like I am a lot, and I had a great ophthalmic surgeon, and he was just showing me everything about the eye. And he said, now you see, if I pull this little nerve right here, it affects his heart rate. Photofield nerve right here, it affects the breathing. He says, amazing what the eyes can control. And he said, everything your eyes can see, it controls the brain as well. So if you, he was the one that told me, if you look at something for a long time, yeah, no problem, it's going to be burned in your memory. You glance away from it for just 1 second, your brain is automatically distracted. It's like a conduit just got severed for 1 quick second. Mm-hmm. And wherever your eyes gaze to that moment, everything is going to go there. So I used that in archery, and I told my friend that, and she did it, and she just freaked out. She said, that's not supposed to happen. I just glanced down for a moment, and I went back to the goal, but it went someplace else. I said, yeah, well, your brain decided I need a break. I'm going to show you something. So we're not going to hit the goal. You look down, I'm going to go down. And I'm going to just automatically have you aim down, and that's what happened. She freaked out. She was like, that is just so freaky. It's just so wrong. I said, well, It is what it is. So from that point on, she mostly concentrated on yellow, red, and she hit targeted at a time. She didn't get any blue, black, or white. She just hit red and gold all day, all day.
Wow. My mind is still back on how you can, you said the nerves or the whatever connecting to the eye, you clip that, you affect different parts of your body. Like, we are so much more connected with the world around us in a way that no one talks to us about. Like, sit and watch NCIS for hours on end. You're being impacted by the violence of the show. I'm not, granted, I like the show because I like how they think through things, the process of the human mind, like why would somebody do this, and trying to find them. I honestly could do without, I close my eyes actually, certain stuff. Like, you don't have to make it look that real.
Right. I understand, but doing what I do, I see it every day.
Well, so, that's different. I mean, you're
right.
There's one thing to not be in so you're in a hospital helping people, but to sit back and watch the violence of it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure the work you do is a time and process for yourself. That's intense. But
but I understand exactly what you're saying, because there's some times where we'll see cases that come in and you'll see doctors cry, because it was like something that was so senseless and it didn't have to happen. And you're trying to save this person's life and you're doing all you can. Sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. And then everybody wants to know the backstory. And then you find out the backstory. And it is true, not going off subject, but it's true. When you start watching a lot of violence, for some folks, it becomes second nature. It's like, no big deal. Okay, so what? I pulled the trigger. Who cares? And that was the problem we had with trying to get archery in the schools, because they're going to say, well, the kids are going to take the bow and arrow and they're going to turn it on other kids and try to shoot each other. It's like, well, you can also go to a bowling alley and that kid can take that bowling ball and drop off. You're not going to say it's not going to happen, but we're prepared in case somebody decides they want to do something like that. We'll stop them. Okay? You've got to try to give this a chance, because in the schools right now, all you have is football, basketball, maybe baseball is for luck. Soccer, yeah. And there's some kids that don't like the competitive type of sport, not the contact sport. They don't like that. So give them something else. And they were thinking, well, we're just afraid of the violence. If you keep saying violence, the kids are going to pick up on it. This is a second outlet for them. Just give them a chance. And once the schools started seeing the positive outcomes that were coming in, now the test scores were going up, the distractions in the classroom had started to drop. The attendance got better because the kids knew, hey, I'll go to school. I'm going to shoot archery later when I get out of school. That kind of won the teachers over, run the principals over. And they're like, okay, well, maybe there is something good to this. It's like, yeah, you think. I mean, some of these kids come from, unfortunately, violent backgrounds or violent neighborhoods. And they need an escape. And this is their way to escape. And for a lot of them, and, some of the kids that my sons know, a lot of their kids say, yeah, I like doing archery because it's just me and the bow and the target. I don't have to worry about this kid over here trying to kill me or somebody breaking into the house. I just got this. If I can shut my mind off from the outside world for 2 hours, that's great. I can go home, I can concentrate, I can do my homework and go to bed. And when you tell the kids and tell the parents, you realize that this is now an NCAA sport that they can get scholarships to go to college, a lot of the parents' eyes kind of like give you that look like you're kidding. But they have scholarships for football and baseball, basketball. They have some for archery. Matter of fact, there's a scholarship for just about everything, even needlepoint. But there's a scholarship for archery, and I said, Michigan State University is one. One of the best archery programs in the state of Michigan. U of M, the University of Michigan, just picked theirs up. So, you can go anywhere and you go on a full ride. And when you say full ride, then the parents really pay attention. Like, really? Like, yeah. Like, and my kids can travel? Yeah. They'll get to see the United States, and if they're lucky, they'll see some of the world. Oh, well, that's okay. Well, we're going to have to talk some more. Now, okay, I didn't know it was like that. I said, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give you information. If you want it, it's right there. Just ask me. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find out for you. So, for the kids love it in the inner cities. We were trying to find some good archery ranges in the inner city, but like I said, we can't. But they did work with the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, to open up a building near the Renfen in downtown Detroit, near the Detroit River, where the kids can go in and actually see what it looks like to be in the outdoors. And they put it all in this one building. And they have one area for archery with 3 little lanes for the kids getting a chance to pick up a bow and arrow and shoot. And a lot of kids actually say, I would like to spend time in the great outdoors if I can. You would? Yeah, I think it would be great. Okay, well, let me get you in contact with some people that can do that for you. And there's a place called Camp Kicking Bear in Michigan. And they take kids from the inner city and give them their first outdoor experience, and they spend the night. And the kids, at first, they're scared to death because they hear the owls, they hear, the coyotes, they hear the background, and they're like, what's that? The little field mice running across the ground, they're like, what's that? It's like, oh, you're just in the inner city, you're missing big, bad, and tough. But now you're afraid of a little garden snake. You got spiders out here. You got the great outdoors. You don't have Wi-Fi access. You can't use your cell phone to call home, come pick me up. Welcome to the great outdoors. This is what your grandparents had to deal with. Okay? It made them strong. You got here. You'll be fine. It's not going to kill you. It'll just make you stronger. Mm-hmm. And the kids actually walk away, and they really love it. And some kids actually come back year after year. And they're getting more into the outdoors now. And like I said, once in the inner city, many of the parents have relatives like in the South where grandma and grandpa, the cousins still have property. So they'll take the kids and, okay, we're going to spend 2 weeks here to get you away from the big city so you can see what country living is like. And they'll go hunting. One even, matter of fact, his parents bought him a bow, and they bought him a target bag. And he was out there all day. And he said, I could do this all day long. They said, we know, honey, but you got to come in and eat now. Give me another 30 minutes. Like, the food will be cold. I just want 30 minutes. And they were showing me pictures. This kid was hitting the target like crazy. And that was just at 40 yards. And he was banging left and right. And he came home, and the parents said, I have never seen him so peaceful. Because he was, I guess he was one of the kind of kids that gets distracted very easily. His grades were going down pretty bad, and he was getting a lot of outside bad influence from a lot of the kids. And when they went away for those 2 weeks and he came back, he said, I'm not hanging around those kids anymore. They have nothing in common with me.
Wow.
I just want to concentrate on this. If I can shoot my bow, and if this can get me my ticket to go to college, that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And so the parents are really encouraging him to get out there and concentrate. And they said, I think the father said, I'll do as much overtime as I can to get this kid where he needs to go to competitions, to get him into these competitions. If this is what he wants, to keep him off the street and keep him from getting murdered, I'm there for him. If it gets him the ticket to go to college to have a better life, I'm there for him. I'll do what I have to do. And I said, you're one of a few parents that will do that, and I applaud you. And if there's anything I can do to help you out, please let me know. Mm-hmm. But that, to me, has always been a powerful story for me. Don't really get off track. Sorry if I did. But a really positive story.
And I just got so caught up in your story and listening, and just so wonderful that I lost track of what the last question was I asked you.
Well,
I found my pen, but
I'm gonna mail you a box of pens.
My other vehicle has more pens in it. It fell between the seat and the middle thing.
Oh God.
But I was able to grab it.
Okay.
Did I ask you, what are you thinking about while you're on the archery range shooting?
Yes, you did. Yes, I did.
Okay. Yep. I thought so. Okay, now I have a pen. I'll check that off. Did I ask you, do you have any mental tricks to keep yourself focused?
It pretty much goes back to, how do I do to keep myself concentrated? It's just the same thing. Focus on the goal, focus on the target. I keep telling myself gold all day long. Same thing for the red. It's like, you too, my pretty. You will be a part of me too. But mostly the gold is what I do for. I just concentrate on that. And like I said, keep the music going on in my head, and everything takes care of itself.
Do you offer any mental tricks to your archery clients to help them keep focused?
I have one lady, and it was kind of funny because we were trying to tell them about how to pull back and use back tension. And she kept saying, I can't get it. I just can't get it. I keep using my shoulder. I said, yeah, I keep seeing your shoulder rise. I said, don't feel bad. I've had problems with it. In some cases, sometimes I still have problems with it. I said, it's all about muscle memory. I said, here's a trick. I said, your husband ever comes up, now she was married. I said, your husband ever comes up behind you when you're washing dishes or cooking dinner or something like that, and he just wants to nibble on your neck or trying to kiss, and you really don't feel like it. It's like, get away from me. You remember that? Yeah, he does that all the time. I do like it sometimes, but there's other times it kind of bugs me. I said, well, you know how you want to give him an elbow? Just to get him off of you? She's like, yeah. I said, well, think about that. When you're using that elbow and you're kind of like want to give a jerk back, you're using back tension. She said, I never thought about it like that. She said, go ahead, shoot. So she goes there, she knocks the arrow. I said, think of your husband coming up behind you. Boy, did she do it. She jerked back and let the arrow fly, and she hit the goal. She was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the funny part. That lady was 78 years old, bless her heart. Mm-hmm. She had never did archery before in her life. She wanted to do it one time. She actually got hooked. She started doing it a little bit more now. But she said, I will always remember that trick. Think of my husband coming up behind me. And her husband just stood there, and he looked at her and looked at the target. His mouth was wide open. And you know how you take your two fingers and have to poke them at your eyes, and you poke back at them like, I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
One of those special moments.
Yeah, it was great. We all fell out laughing. That was so hilarious. But she told me, and, to this day, and she's a Facebook friend, she said, I still think about that. When I can't get the back, I think about elbow. She said anything every single time.
Now, there's a story or two that you wanted to share. At least there's that one that I cut you off and didn't let you talk about it.
Oh, yeah. The reason. Yeah, I think it's the reason I went from 7 to 12.
We've had such an amazing conversation. I'd have to listen to the recording to know what we're saying.
Well, that's okay. I remember it because I wrote it down myself.
Oh, I think that's when I lost my pen.
Oh, probably so. No.
Note to self.
Yeah. Note to self. There you go.
Note to self. I need a pen for note to self. When doing a podcast interview, sitting in my truck, put pen on dashboard. Well, no, then it could roll down. Never mind, that won't work. Okay, continue.
Okay. That's funny. No, I'll do the story real quick. When I was 7th last year and I ended up 12th this year,
mm-hmm.
I remember getting a little bit mixed with myself, and I was like, because, last year you didn't have the instantaneous sports. We had to wait until everybody was done. Last year we were the last group in the country to shoot in Michigan, so we had to wait for the scores to come out 2 weeks later. This year it was automatic, and it was in archers, and then you automatically got your score right then and there almost. So I think it was about a day later. No, it was actually instantaneous because Archer's, the website, had it posted. And I refused to look at it because I knew everybody else had to shoot. We were the first one shooting for this year, and we had to wait until everybody else was finished. So I refused to watch. So at the end, it came back, and they sent out, USA Archery sent out the list of how everybody scored. And I looked at it, and I said, I went to 12? What happened? What the? And now I'm getting mad. I had to say, okay, Connie, let's get back to think about this one.
Not like
let's
12
meditate.
Something to sneeze at or anything.
Yeah, it's like,
pretty
okay.
good.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's sit back and concentrate. Let's do some meditation. Let's calm ourselves down. And now let's go within and find out what did we do. Then I realized last year there wasn't as many women 50 plus that were shooting.
Mm-hmm.
This year the numbers increased, which is a great thing because that's what we wanted to do, was increase the sport amongst people 50 and older. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
When I looked at the scores, we were all separated by 1 or 2 points apiece. Now, I forgot how many I did last year. This year I scored over 900 or something. The weekend prior, I had shot in the state championships, and I scored over 1,000 points. So the following weekend was the indoor nationals. And in a way, I kind of attributed to the fact that I had gotten tired. That was the second thing. Then I looked at it again, and I said, I don't know why you're beating yourself up, because if you look from your score from last year to this year, you scored 138 points more than you did last year. So why are you upset that you're in 12th place again? No need for you to be upset. Let's review. You did better than you did last year. You improved your score. More women are going into the sport. Thank God. That's a blessing in and of itself. 2, you were just getting a little tired. Now, what can we do to improve next year's chances? Okay, we're going to go out and exercise. We're going to do more practice. We're just going to do better overall. So why are you so upset? And I said, yeah, you're right. I need to shut up. So upstairs in the second bedroom, I have all my scorecards on the wall. I take them up there so I can take a look. And then I have all the targets from all my competitions are up on the wall. And I use that as a visual reference to see where I was from a couple of years ago to present, to see the progression of how I've improved. And I do the same thing for the scorecard to see how I've improved through my scores. So looking at that and saying, okay, now what did I do that I should have done? My form wasn't the best, although I tried, but my form wasn't the best. So we're going to concentrate more on form. Get a second bowl, put lighter weight limbs on it, and practice. Great idea, Bon. Let's do it. But I learned a lot from just looking at why I went from 7 to 12. I remember my husband was saying, why are you upset? You were still in the top 15. Why are you upset? I said, yeah, you're right. Even my coaches said, you're still in the top 15. Why are you upset? Right, good point. Stop looking at the numbers. Don't worry about it. Once again, I showed up and I showed out. did the best you could, and that's all anybody can ask for. And then next year, you do better.
It's like, can't really, well, we can't easily be, but it's to decide to not be emotional about outcomes that have actually nothing to do with us. We don't have control over how the other person is shooting, unless maybe we're just eating garlic and I'm right-handed and they're left-handed.
Right.
That's kind of rude. So you don't know. You don't know how good or bad a day they're having. You only have control over pretty much yourself and what you do to practice. And exercise is important.
It's key.
I mean,
it's
when you're competing, how many miles can we walk in an outdoor 70-meter, or whatever?
Right. How many pounds are you pulling back every time when you start adding it up?
Yep. And if your legs are stronger because you're doing workout to build up leg strength, man, you'll be less tired. Yeah, you have more energy than the person next to you is like, oh my God, I don't walk this much every day.
That's true, because when I was in the Senior Olympics, it was the same thing. But a lot of the guys, they were in, the scooters or they were walking.
No, at the Olympics, they have people pulling arrows for them. I don't think they pull their own arrows. That's just wrong.
Right, but at the Senior Olympics, we have to go back and forth. But for a lot of these guys, they'll tell you that, and I met one gentleman, and I love him to death. He said he's retired, and he told his wife, well, honey, I'm going to the office. Going out and shoot in the backyard. This is my office. She knows where I'm at. And he said, I do this now for the camaraderie. I'm not worried so much about a medal. I'm not worried so much about a ranking. If I make
actually, when you go in with that mindset, you're more likely to get the medal.
And that's what he did. He said, I don't think about the medal. I don't think about shooting to score. I'm enjoying the camaraderie. I'm enjoying the outdoors. I'm enjoying meeting people. I'm enjoying the travel. And he said, if I win a medal, it was a plus. That's how I have to look at it. And he said, after I do this, I'm going out to the Huntsman's games. And, he said, I know this is not the qualifying year. This is 2015 because he said this is not the qualifying year. He said 2016 is the qualifying year for the National Senior Olympics for next year. So he said, you're going to have a lot more people in 2016 shooting because that's the qualifying year. He said, so I think we took a look online, and there's a minimum qualifying score that you have to maintain in order to qualify to go to the Nationals because everybody's upping their game. And in 2015, when I shot with a few other people, it was only 2 females in the 50-plus category that were shooting. It was me and Liz. And I think the state record was 556. I shot 555, so I was 1 point under. Oh. She blew it out of the water. She blew it out of the water by 80 points. She blew it out of the water.
Cool.
And she didn't intend to do it. I didn't intend to do it. I'm like, oh, you did it. And she won gold. I won silver. And I tell her, I said, now, this year is the qualifying year, 2016, which means you go to, I think it's going to be held in Birmingham, Alabama next year in 2017. I said, so the state, I think the average score is 626. She said, oh, my God. I said, yeah, thanks to people like you that blew the state record out of the water. They had the upping limit. So I said, so now you're going to have to do the same thing you did last year. She said, yeah, I see. Oh, my God, that means I got to get you everything. I said, you know what? Whatever you were doing, keep doing it. I said, you're doing fine. And she didn't think about it. She said, I didn't know I was going to blow. I didn't know I was going to get the record. I said, nobody did. I said, I was only 1 point away from the state. I said, you blew it out of the water. I said, you know how much I have to shoot now against you? She and I are really good friends to this day, and she'll tell me, if you know any competitions coming up, please let me know. I'll be there. I'll try to be there if it doesn't interfere with my work or if she's in a choir. Let me know. I will be there. So I said, if I don't register, please let me know. So she sent me a text saying, okay, let's continue Olympics. Did you register? I said, now I will. You just told me. So I registered for that. There's the Meyer State Games. I didn't go this past winter, but I'm going for the summer outdoors, so I'm going to register for that. The state championships outdoors, I told her, make sure she registers. She said, okay, I'll do it. And I said, the Huntsman Games, I don't think I'll make that one. I said, but next year, I said, this year USA Archery just announced that they're going to have a master's class for the, master's team.
You're not going to have to send me pictures of you two, so I can post them and your scores, so we can follow you guys. This little competition that's going on. Yeah. I love it. If you're interested.
She and I have become, like I said, such good friends, and like I said, we met in Nebraska during the state games there, and we just hit it off. And we've been buddies ever since. And she comes down. She's living in Grand Rapids. Comes down over this way to go to see Jim Morrow, and he's helping her. Although over in West Michigan, her coach over there is Glenn Myers, who was an Olympian. So she's getting the best of both worlds.
Oh, sweet.
so she's coming down here, and he's helping her with the equipment. And, okay, you need to tighten this up, you need to do this, you need to do that, your form is kind of crazy, blah, blah, blah. She goes back to the West Michigan Archery, and Glenn tells her, okay, let me see what you learned. Okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. And I said, you've got two good people. You got a former Olympian even helping you. I'm so damn jealous. She said, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. I said, I'm just very blessed. I said, no, basically we all are blessed. We all have great. And I said, they make us better. And I said, the thing that I love about you is that you make me better. And she said the same, you make me want to do better. I said, well, and we'll sit back and we'll look and say, like, okay, now who's in our category? Liz, it's just me and you this year. Well, at least one of us will get gold and the other one will get silver. I don't know which, but we'll guarantee She said, well, definitely we're going to go out there and have a good time. And we do. I mean, we'll spot each other. I don't have a spot like she does. I just have a binocular, but we spot each other, and it helps out a lot. It's really great.
We will definitely follow you too. That will be fun. And
it's going to be a blast.
How would you describe what it feels like to shoot an arrow? And this would be to someone who has never shot before.
Let's see. I just tell them that it to me, it's like a rush. It's my state. It's like a meditative state for me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, like I said again, it's just me, the bow, the arrow, and the target. And I said, it's really nothing like, I said, if you go to an outdoor shoot, it's nothing like pulling that arrow out of your quiver and loading it onto your bow. I said, it's almost like, I think Nikki Haversack, actually said it really well. She said, it's kind of like pulling out a saber, your sword out of your holster, and it's pulling it out, and you hear that steel. And I said, well, the arrow is kind of like, the aluminum. You hear it come out, and it's like you're already ready to go to battle. And I think Jennifer Wong said it best. It's like you're going into battle. It's just something about that sound when you hear it, and it just does something to your mind. And my thing is, to me, it's just meditative. It's relaxing. If I've had a rotten day at work, I know I think me and the bow we're going to go to the range, or we're going to go into the basement, and I'm just going to let some arrows fly. And if it's time for me to get out some aggression, great way to get out some aggression. If I have a picture of the person I can't stand, put that picture up on the target, but let it go. But I just tell them it's just very relaxing. It's relaxing. It's meditative for me. It calms me down. I said it affects everybody differently. Some people say it just makes them feel like, one girl said, it makes me feel like I'm one with the universe. I'm like, hey, okay, if it works for you, that's fine. I'm not going to lie. But for me, it's just relaxing. To me, it's like the bow is an extension of me. It's who I am. And that's why I said my bow has their nicknames. As a kid, comes out is because I've had a bad day and the kid's going to let me know, yeah, you are having a bad day. Look at your shots. They're crappy. You know, let's try this again. Let's calm down. Let's relax. Let's come focused. Then the bowl turns into the blue destiny, and it's like, okay, now everything's fine. Everything is quiet. Everything is calm. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it? Sun is out, the birds are chirping, and they're like, yeah, whatever. But I told a friend that, she's like, yeah, you're right. It is very relaxing. It's very calming. And you're shooting, and you don't even know an hour's passed, or an hour and a half has passed, 2 hours even passed. You just don't know. You get in that zone, and you just don't think about it anymore. You're just having fun. You're just relaxing. So for me, yeah, it's just all about relaxation and meditation for me. That's what it is for me.
And the time just flies, like our conversation here. I just looked at my watch and wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing. Wow. I'm in my dining room and I'm looking across the kitchen. I'm looking on the clock and I'm going, ooh, wow, time goes by when you're having fun. Wow. Okay.
You've been an amazing guest, and I would like to give you the last word. Could you leave us with a pearl of wisdom or inspiration?
If you want to do archery and you said you've always wanted to try it but you never did it, get out and do it. You know, you only got this one chance in the world. You only got this one life. Go out of this world with no regrets. Go out there, pick up a bow. As my kids tell me before, get up, go out, show out. Have a great time doing it. Don't let anybody stop you from attaining your dreams. If your dream is to pick up a bow, if your dream is to go into a competition, if your dream is to coach, do it. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let age stop you at all. There are people out there in their 90s, 80s, 70s are still shooting to this day. Get out there and do it. Never go out of this world with a regret by saying, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and you didn't. You know, I have no regrets. I'm glad I did this. I got into it late in the game, but look at what I've accomplished. And that's a legacy that I leave for my grandchildren, to say, look at what my grandmother did at her age. Look at what I'm going to do when I get to be her age. I'm going to do everything I can. And remember, archery is a great physical activity. You meet a lot of wonderful people. And once again, if you don't know, if you can find a spot, if you have to, go to USA Archery. There's a list of clubs you can join. There's a club everywhere. Every state has a club. Somewhere there's a club. Find a great coach. Once again, go to USA Archery. They have a list of coaches. I'm on there too. Find a coach.
I'm on there too.
Yeah, you're on there too. My coaches are on there. Everybody's on there. You know, go out there and, you know, get you a target bag. If you have a small apartment, you can shoot. There's ways to do it. I live in a townhouse. I shoot in the basement. I only have 8 feet. But and look at it this way. It's better to shoot than not to shoot. It's better to have the equipment and go out there. And even if you can only do 5 feet, do 5 feet. I don't have a large backyard. I wish that I did, but I don't.
A target in which the arrows don't bounce out every time
That's
you shoot.
It, yeah. Yeah, because the last thing you want is that arrow to go into your next door neighbor's house, and he's like, you hate me, don't you? I just saw the arrow come into my house. We need to talk. No, we don't need to talk. But no, like I said, just go out there, have fun. Don't let anybody stop you from doing it. Don't let anybody tell you, archery, really, you're too old to do it. You're too young to do it. Don't let anybody stop you. Get out there and just let the arrow fly. And you'll find a piece of yourself. You'll find a strength that you never had before. You'll find a talent that you probably never had before. Just get out there and do it.
Before we got going with the podcast, we were talking, and you said that you don't mind when people ask you your age. And you said just from things you were just saying over the last couple of minutes, would you like to share with us your age?
Yeah, I'm 57. I'll be 58 this year in October. I keep saying about my age. I'm not afraid to tell anybody my age because, once again, I have friends who are no longer here that have passed away, and never got the chance to really enjoy life. And I think a couple of my friends at work said the same thing. One of the girls that I know, she's going through something with her mother right now. Her mother's not doing very well health-wise. And she said, it takes an emotional toll. I said, I understand. I said, I've been where you've been. I have to be an adult caregiver for both of my kids, so I know what you're talking about. I said, at the same time, enjoy your parents while they're here. Enjoy yourself while you're here. I said, because all this could be gone tomorrow. And she said, yeah, you're right.
To add to that, when we were talking earlier, just kind of wrap up here, is we were talking about how people are just like running for the goal and not having fun and just go, go, go.
Mm-hmm.
But possibly it's not so much about the destination, but it's about the journey.
Exactly. And, like I said, once I tell, my coworkers I need this day off because I got to do a competition, they say, oh, you're going to bring back a medal? So I'm not worried about the medal. I'm worried about, hey, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying the camaraderie. I'm enjoying just being outside or indoors. I'm having a blast. If I get a medal, that's a bonus. Great. Give it to me. But if I don't, I don't. I said, I'm just enjoying just being alive and enjoying it while I can. And, I say, I want to, what a friend of mine said years ago, was like, when I die, let me sweep in the heavens, sliding on my butt cheek and saying, wow, what a ride. And that's exactly how I look at it. I said, this is a ride. This is fun. And I'm not letting anybody take that away from me, not even for a minute. No way, no way.
Wonderful. Gosh, I can't wait for the world to hear this. And actually, you all will be listening to this when it's released, so you're listening to it now. Bonnie, I want to just really thank you for being a guest on our show. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Oh, anytime. I really enjoyed it. And if anybody, once again, has any questions, I'm on Facebook. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. If I can't answer it, I'll find the answer.
And this was theflyingarcher.com with an amazing cast with Bonnie. You can go and see our show notes at theflyingarcher.com, which will also have this podcast. And again, thank you.
Cool. Bye, y'all.